Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us here at the pod with Cool Sports Guy. My name is Jose. I'll be your host for the evening. Joining me today is Tom, and across him, kind of, is Rob. So we have a plethora of topics to cover today, and too much, so we might not have enough time to get to all of them. But thank you for joining us on the journey, nevertheless. So first top of the day. I'm going to list all the topics, actually, just to kind of let you guys in on what's in store for today. So first of all, we got the NFC, AFC wildcard weekend recap. We're going to talk about our brackets as well. We're going to discuss picks for the next round of the NFL playoffs and some recent news. If everybody's heard about a player that plays for the Houston Rockets named James Harden leaving, making big impact today. And the college football championship that happened this past Monday and how that affects the new NFL draft coming in. So with that being said, let's start the go around. Tom, what'd you think about the playoffs this weekend?
I hated it because most of my picks were wrong, and I hate my partners for letting me pick Chicago to beat the Saints. I don't know why I let them do that.
Well,
that's my thoughts on the
playoffs. It's going to be okay. Things happen sometimes, What about you, Rob?
I mean, first off, I must be a damn wizard because I only got one of those games wrong. Which one was it? Tennessee versus Baltimore. I don't know what happened with Derrick Henry. I don't even want to talk about it. I think he only rushed for 50 yards that entire game, something like that.
I think that's about right.
He just looked like a man defeated. He let them stomp on their logo after they caught that interception to win the game. I wish I would have flipped the other side. I wish you guys would have convinced me otherwise. But for the rest of it, I mean, I'm a god. I'm on cloud 9 right now. I'm killing the game as far as these playoff picks go.
I don't know. Three out of
Not
6 for me, so that's not too bad. I don't think so.
Pretty sure I went 2 for
You went 2 and 4.
2
yeah.
for 2 and 4. So yeah.
So I remember. Let's see here. I don't know. I don't have the picks in front of me right now, so we can break it down though, right? So what happened? We can break down our picks, right? Let's just go down the line just real quick, and then we can talk about the games. New Orleans versus Chicago. I picked New Orleans. Tom, what'd you pick?
Chicago.
Okay.
We've talked about this.
And Rob, just for the record, that's all we're going.
Yeah, I picked New Orleans because I'm a same man.
We'll break it down later. We'll just need to have it on record here for the courtroom. And next game, Seattle versus LA. Who I had Seattle for that game. That was a hard one right there. And Tom, what'd you have?
Yeah, I also had Seattle. Who would have thought Wilson won't even complete 50% of his passes? I mean, that's just unheard of. So I guess bad pick. And Seattle just beat the Rams 2 weeks ago. I don't know what went wrong. They were playing in Seattle again. But here we are. Seattle's now on the couch watching the game.
Right. And Rob, what'd you have?
I remember saying something along the lines last time we were doing this. I don't care who's playing quarterback for the Rams. They're going to beat Seattle. And then, of course, what's his name? Woodford goes out with a neck injury, and Goff comes into play. And that was the only swaying argument whenever I didn't know that he was injured before that. So I was like, crap, I can't believe I picked the Rams. But
that's what happens.
Stood by my man.
A good quarterback right there makes all the difference right there. Speaking of good quarterbacks, the next game, Washington, Tampa Bay. For the record, I had Tampa Bay, or Tampa Bay, as I've been told it's been called. What about you, Tom? What you got?
Same. Never bet against Brady in the playoffs. I did have Tampa Bay, and I believe they're the only home team that actually covered the spread this weekend, if I looked at it correctly.
Saints covered, I think, because they were plus 10.
Oh, yeah. Chicago, 11. Yeah. Scored like 3 points. Yeah. Actually, there was that junk touchdown at the end there, but you're right. You're very correct.
That was a hell of a catch, too. But just caught the ball one-handed, went right into the tunnel. He's like, I don't want to be on this field anymore. I picked Tampa Bay as well. Okay. Although I did say that if Washington would have won, that they would have ran the table the entire playoffs and won the entire thing.
Can I just real quick say that I think Heineke played better than Alex Smith probably would have, simply because of the fact that he can make plays on his foot, and Tampa Bay's front line, they're good at containing the quarterback. And if you're staying in the pocket, you're getting hit down, and Heineke just was running all over the field and making plays, and that was a great performance.
Yeah, and he's unknown quantity, so all the teams that would have to play him after that, they don't know what they're getting. They don't know he's XFL. He was out there in the streets playing football. He's killing the game. So I don't know if he's going to be on the Washington roster next year, but whoever gets him, good on you. Good on you.
What about Buffalo versus Indianapolis? I went with Indy on this one. I thought Phillip Rivers would make an impact. I think he kind of did, but okay, we lost. I mean, they lost. So what about you, Tom? What you got? What you had on that one?
I picked the Bills too. First of all, kudos to Phillip Rivers. He did not throw a pick. Towards the end there, I thought everything was going to crap because Josh Allen once again had a crazy play, went back about 10 yards, and then fumbled the football, which went back another 10 yards, putting him I think it was like 3rd and 20 something at that point. Luckily, the Bills recovered it, and luckily, Phillip Rivers wasn't able to go back last minute and score. So Buffalo barely pulled it through. I thought it was going to be a higher scoring game, and I thought it was going to be a bigger difference between the points, but close one. Good fight by the Colts, but Bills. I picked the Bills, and Bills won.
Yeah, I picked the Bills as well. That was the most difficult choice that game because the Colts are good. I think they're a quarterback away. I know Phillip Rivers, legend, obviously, but they need somebody who's young and can really get in there and play. I think Josh Allen put that game on his back. I mean, all the rushes that he had for over 10 yards, he was killing it. Every single time I felt like. I don't know how they're going to fare heading more into the playoffs, but it was a good win, good solid win.
And then last two games, we had Pittsburgh and Cleveland, the massacre. So I had who did I have? Did I pick Pittsburgh on that one? No, I did pick Cleveland. So I wouldn't have picked Pittsburgh after that. But, so I had Cleveland. How about you, Tom?
I had the Steelers. And
Yikes.
Rob gave me a lot of crap for picking the Steelers. But here's the reality, guys. I don't think – look, Browns played well. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to take anything away from the Browns. I'm not trying to take anything away from Baker. And kudos – I mean, their head coach was watching the game from his garage. So kudos to the team. Congratulations all the way around. But, look, in that first quarter, Pittsburgh lost the game. Browns didn't necessarily win the game, but Pittsburgh definitely lost the game in the first quarter, starting with the first snap that went over Big Ben's head, and then followed by the 2 picks. One, he was mainly trying to throw that ball away. There happened to be a defender right behind him, and the second one went off the hands of his receiver. And then, he threw 2 more after that. But yeah, I think mainly Pittsburgh just they just lost the game in the first quarter, and there was no coming back from that. I mean, you're down 28 points to a team. You need somebody better than Big Ben. Tom Brady.
I can explain the feeling that I had when I saw that snap go over Big Ben's head. I knew then and there the Browns won that game. They were too nervous. I don't know what was going on, why that ball flew up as high as it did. And then, I don't know if you guys remember, but Ben, was just he didn't even attempt to dive
his
on the
running back jumped on the ball. Ben was right there, and the running back jumped on the I believe it was a running back that jumped on the ball, and Ben thought, okay, this guy's got it, so I'm going to wait. I'm going to let my running back jump on it. But he jumped on the ball before any Browns defenders got there, and he just couldn't grab onto the ball, and it just knocked right into the end zone, and it was
For me, it reminded me of the onside kick that the Falcons had against Dallas way earlier in the season, where they just didn't even try to pick up the ball. That's what it looked like to me with Big Ben. I was like, what are you doing, man? The season's on the line.
The snap reminded me of Seattle versus Broncos in the Super Bowl, when one of those went right next to Peyton Manning's shoulder. I don't know if y'all remember that.
Just barely. But glad I picked the Browns. Tempted to pick them again. Just a solid win over, for the Rob's bracket over here.
And then rounding out well, this one started early though. This was Sunday morning. Was it right? The first game, Tennessee Titans versus Ravens.
Did we not talk about that one?
Not yet.
But
Okay.
we're gonna break them all down here in a minute. We're just going over the picks. So I had Titans on that one. That was a horrible pick. Tom, what'd you have?
One of my two wins. I totally had the Ravens.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had the Ravens simply because, like I said, in the past couple of weeks, they were playing lights out. Here's the one thing that really surprised me. I'm not very impressed with the Titans' defense. And as much as Ravens won that game, they only put up 20 points.
Mm-hmm.
They only put up 20 points. So it was just a matter of, but kudos to Ravens. I mean, they shut Derrick Henry down. I believe it was 55 total yards on offense for Titans, or rushing for Titans, which is, I mean, considering the fact that you have Derrick Henry and how he's played the last couple of weeks,
That was rough.
Ravens, good job. Great job. That was a defensive game. Everyone thought they were going to be over. And yeah, they fell under 20-13. It was a much more defensive game than everyone thought. But at the end of the day, my pick was right, so I'm happy.
And then the pick that made Rob a human being. Go ahead, Rob.
Yeah, like I said earlier, man, Derrick Henry, I don't know what happened. That pick for me was solely based on how I thought he was going to perform.
I mean, the guy's been a beast all season, so.
A.J. Brown still did pretty well.
Mhm.
They just couldn't get it together. And I think for their defense, they held it together for as long as they could. I think 3 solid quarters, they held that team to the best of their ability.
Mhm.
And then from there, the floodgates just opened, and they had no chance whatsoever to get back into that game, especially after the pick that Tannehill threw right there at the end.
Yep, absolutely. So let's see here. Going back then to the first game we talked about, trying to break down a little bit. I'll go over some of the points I had made and see what you guys think. So I was thinking at the beginning, Saints versus Bears. So the Saints were riding a 2-game win streak going to the playoffs. And now they've increased that streak to 3 now, moving on to the next round. How important is this for you, in your opinion, having momentum, that kind of momentum going into the playoffs and carrying it through to the next round, no matter who you are? What do you think, Tom?
Momentum is always important going into any game. But funny thing with momentum is it can literally shift in the middle of a game, middle of a quarter. And I know Saints are going to be playing Tampa next. And I don't think they should relax, even though they beat Tampa twice already in the regular season. And you get to play in the Dome. You're home. Tampa has to come to you.
Mm-hmm.
But look, at the end of the day, whether you agree with it or not, you're playing Tom Brady in the playoffs. And playoff Tom Brady and regular season Tom Brady is a different story. And momentum is important. And, also have to understand, you're going in with the 3-game winning streak. Tampa's coming in with the 5-game winning streak. And they have not lost since their bye week. And that entire offense has been playing lights out the past few weeks. So
November. Last time they lost a game, November.
Yeah. And, I mean, look, from the judging by the season, every single game they played was within 3 points or less, except both of the Saints game. Most of Brady's 5 of his 11 picks came against the Saints. So I think it's a nerve-wracking game for both teams, I would say, and it's going to be a tough one for both teams, but it's going to be a very interesting game to watch. Oldest quarterbacks still playing, going at each other. It's awesome.
And what are they, 43 and 42, I think?
Mm-hmm.
Drew Brees is
41.
41?
41,
Okay.
43, yeah.
It's Old Man Bowl. They're going to put it together.
I think Brees is actually turning 42 in 2 days, if I know correctly.
Okay.
I'm
so
pretty sure it's his birthday coming up.
I'm just thinking in future tense, okay?
So you're saying I could be a Hall of Fame
Exactly.
quarterback if I really tried.
If you would have started years ago.
I mean, I have a couple
Start
years.
on that
I
pliability.
have a couple of
Right
years
now.
to
But, momentum's obviously important. Obviously, and more important, I think, are the bonds. And obviously, those two have played with their teams, or at least Tom Brady hasn't played with his team that long, but he's played with Gronk for a while. Him and Antonio Brown have an amazing friendship, and it looks like they have some on-field chemistry now, building up with those 5 wins. It's like a rock meeting a hard place, really. I don't know. They both have so much momentum. Even though 21-9 victory over the Bears.
I will.
It doesn't feel that impressive to me. But neither was the Buccaneers went over Washington either.
The Buccaneers, yeah. Well, that was a close game.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that was definitely a closer game. I will say this: two things that I've noticed from that 38-3 defeat last time Saints and Bucks played.
Yeah, it was
I
horrible.
believe so.
Yeah.
One, Drew Brees for the majority of the game when he was throwing to wide open receivers. Tampa Bay definitely needs to fix that issue on defense. I don't know if they were confused. I don't know if the receivers were just too fast for the Bucs defense to keep up with. But most of the throws, there wasn't a defender within like 5-10 yards. A lot of times when those throws were being made. And as far as the Buccaneers, I know the first 4 weeks when they started winning after their bye week, everyone said, or a lot of people said, you're playing crappy teams. You played the Falcons twice. They don't have a good defense. You're playing the Lions. They don't even have a head coach right now. One main takeaway, the same thing that they did against Washington and something they did not do against the Saints last time. When there was a 4-man rush, against the Saints, they had 5-man blocking. Since then, or at least since the bye, they've been having 6-man blocking on a lot of plays, leaving more defenders out on the field to guard what's left of your receivers. So a couple of your receivers are usually double teamed. And Brady, if he's well protected, he's throwing perfect balls into double and triple coverage. So something that they should definitely continue to do going into the Saints game is, hey, have that extra person so Brady doesn't rush so much, and he will start making some good throws. So those are the two main key things. Tighten up the defense and keep that protection up front.
Yeah, I think just going back to that, just having that momentum right there, going into the playoffs, carrying that through in the next round. I mean, it's important. And they're moving along. So, like the Saints, like I talked about before, the Saints had a win against the Bears earlier in the season, but that was 26-23, which wasn't too crazy, but they capitalized on that. And now this was 21-9, moving along. They're doing a lot better. Like you're saying, they're keeping Tom Brady on his feet, which is where he performs the best, I guess. So as most quarterbacks do.
Yeah.
But yeah, the same way. Bears were entering the postseason coming off a loss. They continued that streak. They weren't able to manage any kind of offense, like at all. So Trubisky, stats was what? I don't know. Like a lot of school of thoughts on
horrible.
Yeah,
that entire Bears offense just played. I mean, Saints didn't even get that big of a lead, I believe, until third or fourth quarter. It was a neck and neck, low scoring game, but Bears was just not able to do anything.
Anything at all? Yeah, he has a quarterback rating. Sometimes it's really like, oh yeah, quarterback rating is good. You can kind of like use it however you want. But he has the 48th highest quarterback rating.
Yikes.
And he's sitting right behind Ben Roethlisberger, 47th highest quarterback rating. So that leads me to my next question right there. The validity. Yeah, I don't know. I shouldn't have put that word in there. I can't pronounce it really well. Of the quarterback rating. So how do you and how good a quarterback is? What do you think about, Rob? How do you take that into account when you're thinking about a good quarterback?
I think it's important. I mean, I think there's a lot of praise for quarterbacks who just sling it and they like try every single, like Tom Brady kind of has this season. I mean, he's been heavily criticized, but I think that's mostly because the history he's had on the Patriots and then now leaving to go to Tampa. But people like Alex Smith or, Tua when he was in college who are just very good and do not, or Aaron Rodgers even, who rarely ever turns over the ball. I think that's a lot more important. So quarterback rating is, I feel like it can be good and can be bad. I wouldn't measure it to, obviously like people will say like Tom Brady doesn't have that good of a quarterback rating.
Right.
He threw a shit ton of picks
11.
11, yeah. And I'm sure his quarterback rating's not that great, but is he a great quarterback? Oh yeah, he's one of the best of all time. So you kind of have to look at the game, look at the matchups, and see how that's going. Like if you're going up against Jalen Ramsey like every week, you're probably not going to have the best quarterback rating. Aaron Donald's rushing at you too. I think it just varies from game to game, but I think it's pretty good system so far.
Just for the record, like I said, we got to go on quarterback rating, but Tom Brady has number 7 quarterback rating in the league.
7?
He's actually pretty good quarterback rating this
Or
year.
6. I'm sorry, 6.
That must be because of the 5 wins in a row then. Because before that, he must have been.
But yeah, that's what this is a Taylor Heineke. After that performance, now has a higher quarterback rating than Tom Brady right now.
Hey.
So 102.3.
Get on him.
I mean,
versus
you can't blame the
102.3.
rating because they can only rate it off of the one game, and
Right.
he played really well. But
Yeah, he played his heart out. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, what do you think about the quarterback rating?
I'm kind of on, I want to say, same page as with Rob. I mean, it's a great stat, but at the end of the day, that's not, just because you have a good quarterback rating doesn't necessarily mean you'll win the game. And good quarterbacks know it's more important to win the game. They'd rather have a 50% quarterback rating unless they're trying to get a big contract or something out at the end of the season. Like, at the end of the day, it's about winning games. Can you have people like, just as an example, like you said, Tom Brady, he goes out there, and if he knows, hey, secondary is strong on this team, but the front line, defensive line isn't the best, he will continue to run the ball. He doesn't care. Like, the only rating he cares about is W or F. And I think a lot of quarterbacks in the league, especially if they've been here for a few years, they don't necessarily care for quarterback rating or touchdown to interception ratio. They care about win or losses. And at that point, they rather do what is necessary to win the football game than to get the rating. And I think we've seen very low quarterback ratings at the end of the day. They go home with the win. Super Bowl, Peyton Manning last year, horrible quarterback rating. Tom Brady, 2019, when they went up against the Rams, horrible quarterback rating. Like, they were at the 2-yard line. Would I bet against Brady to not throw a touchdown pass on 1st and goal, 2nd and goal, 3rd and goal, or 4th and goal? No, I wouldn't. But they handed the ball off on 1st down. He doesn't care who gets the touchdown. Points go up. He gets a ring. He cares about the ring. So
see, I like to liken it to a game I played in Madden. just 2 nights ago. Of
course.
Case Keenum.
This is real life, Tom. Okay, come on.
He threw 9 interceptions. Okay, I threw 9 interceptions to Case Keenum, but you know what? I threw 10 touchdowns and still won the game. So, did he have a good QBR? No.
worst coach in NFL history would be Rob. Just continuing to have Case Keenum play after throwing 9 interceptions in a game.
Is this fall down 7 times, stand up 8? Is that what it is?
Yes.
Okay.
So look, we won the game. That's all that matters to me is that we won the game. But I think his QBR that game was like,
We're moving on to
I wanna say
Cincinnati.
30 it was 48 or something like that.
Okay, fair enough. So, but and also tying into that, I think Tom, you might have tied into this a little bit in a game versus the Saints. So like 21 points, 21-9, right? Is that a reasonable score to contain them to? Like, should the Bears have to be able to capitalize on that and do their part? So what happened there? Like, who's to blame on this loss for the Bears specifically?
I mean,
You have to put it on one person.
one of the main things I would say, I have to name a person.
No, I'm just kidding.
If I have to name a person, I'm going to go with Matt Nagy.
Okay.
Like, bro,
Yeah.
better play calls.
Mm-hmm.
You put 3 points up through the first 3 quarters. Hey, guess what? Time to flip the page and see what other plays you got, because it's not happening. Or
Right.
better yet, I know I should get the most criticism for saying this, but at that point, put Nick Foles in, because I wanted Nick Foles benched. I wanted Trubisky to play, but clearly something's wrong here. Either your quarterback isn't executing the plays you're telling him to properly, and that's why you have 3 points on the board, or you're not giving him the right calls.
Right.
So the fact that they didn't make any of those changes, and I'm absolutely not going to give credit for the last touchdown. Simply because, hey, it's late in the fourth quarter, and guess what? We're leading by almost 3 touchdowns. Sure, you can go get one. We'll give it to you. That was just junk points. It didn't matter. So, yeah, I definitely overall do blame the play calling. Offense did not execute well at all. I think Saints, as great as they're playing on offense, I mean, Michael Thomas came back. Alvin Kamara is a great running back. You still got Taysom Hill playing pretty well. Drew Brees is still Drew Brees at the end of the day. If your defense is holding that Saints team to 21 points, kudos to your defense. So I definitely don't put any blame on the defense. I'm going to put a heck of a lot more blame on that offense and the play calling.
The
fair enough,
only
yeah.
3 teams to hold the Saints to 21 points or under this season: the Eagles, the Falcons, and the Bears. Those are the 3
Okay,
teams.
maybe. Yeah, that seems like they fit in there. Never mind.
Yeah.
Those are my 3 first picks I would have thought about.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think 21. I think it's a reasonable score. I mean, they blowing everybody else out felt like this whole season long. So,
Well, if they wanted to, I feel like they can also put up more. I think it's all about managing the game too.
Yeah,
When
the
you're
game against the
21 points
Falcons,
up,
they didn't even have Drew Brees. It
Run
was
the
just
clock.
Taysom Hill the
Yeah.
entire time. But also Emmanuel Sanders. You forgot that. They have him as well.
oh yeah,
Their
that's true.
offense is
That's true.
stacked.
Yeah, it is stacked. It's a
And
hard
their
offense to
defense, too.
stop.
But not enough. No, I don't think 21 points was enough. Especially that Bears, how good that Bears defense team, or how good their defense is. I feel like they probably should have held them to less.
I think so. Like, I mean, for me, like if I'm the defensive coordinator for the Bears, it's like hold them, or the offensive coordinator say hold them to 21 points. We'll get you the win. But sure enough, the Saints pull through and move on to the next round. Get to have one of the greatest matchups and see the history books play out after that. And then we move on to unless you guys got anything more for this game. Yeah, good. I think we covered everything.
When they played in regular season, Saints actually put up 26, so it wasn't much of a difference.
It was 26-23,
That's
right?
including the 3 points in overtime.
And they actually brought it down a little bit. It was like 26. It was 26-23, right? It was a closer
23.
game.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
and that's why I picked the Bears. just to clarify, real quick.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
fair.
it's very if they can score if they did 23 points again, they could have beat them this time. But different game. It's a different setting. It's like it's win or go home, and the Saints did not want to go home. So, but moving on to the Seattle versus. I put Seattle versus Rams. Seattle versus LA. Yeah. So one of my points, I was just trying to see momentum. 4-game win streak for Seattle going in, and then they ended up losing against the Rams. So momentum, not a big key decider on this one, right? So what do you think the big difference maker is? Besides Goff coming in and playing his heart out right there after Hartford, what do you think made a more difference there, Tom?
I don't even think it was necessarily Goff making the biggest difference. Man, good job shutting DK Metcalf down, right? That's the first person Russell Wilson looks at, and then good job to the defensive line because Wilson gets the ball, he looks for Metcalf, he's blocked, and next he looks up, you got Aaron Donald or somebody else in your face. Well, I don't know. I was very surprised after watching that game. Kudos to the Buccaneers. Tom Brady, who literally cannot move out of pocket, for actually putting up 24 points against that defense. Because Wilson is great at running out of pocket. He's great at throwing on the run. He's also great at running if he needs to. He's quick. He's small. He can get out of pocket. And he knows how to take a hit. He can take a hit. But they held him to 13 points. And that 20 points the Rams put up, it was included a pick six from Russell Wilson. So I don't necessarily think Goff made the biggest difference. That was a defensive game, and the Rams defense just dominated. Kudos to them. A lot of credit. I picked Seattle to win. I didn't expect the highest scoring game, but I still picked Seattle to win because I thought Wilson will pull something. Out in the fourth quarter to just go back and score and win. But man, they held him to. He didn't even complete 50% of his passes. So, congrats to the Rams on that. Great job.
Shook him up. Yep.
Yeah, definitely Jalen Ramsey and DK Metcalf. That matchup was super important. Even though DK Metcalf did end up getting a touchdown, I think that Jalen Ramsey did a great job of holding him back, or keeping him from asserting his physical presence on the corners. Aaron Donald as well. He got 2 sacks, 3 tackles. He is a monster. That defense is just monstrous. And I think maybe having Goff thrown back in the lineup, because he was essentially benched, may have given them the momentum they needed, or the hope. Because I think everybody kind of figured going into that game, besides me, of course, because I picked them, that they weren't gonna win just because of the he just had surgery on his thumb.
All right.
But I think people also forget how damn good that team is. Like Cam Akers, Robert Woods, they have Cooper Kupp. Like,
Well, they're one of the weirder ones. They do really well against some teams, and then didn't they lose to the 49ers, and then they lose to the Jets?
I'm not saying they're a perfect team. I'm
No,
just
I
saying,
know, but that's the thing. Like, it's just like you see the losses they took, and that's when you go, are they as good as they look?
Yeah.
I don't know. There's something off about them. I feel like.
I think you plug, say, like a Matty Stafford in there, and that team will take over the NFL. If they can keep that defense, and they can get. Not saying that they need to replace Jared Goff because he's a good quarterback whenever he's not getting any pressure. But if they could get a quarterback in there like Matthew Stafford, oof, I think that's the best team in the NFL at that point.
It's going to be a tougher matchup for Green Bay than people realize.
Oh, I think that's one of the hard ones for me to pick as well.
Yeah, because I mean, like, you just got to make sure you keep Russell Wilson, shaking up and everything. Like you were talking about, just they brought back for the playoffs. It was Mike Iupati, left guard, right tackle Brandon Sheld, and that didn't make a difference. They got 5 sacks out of it, so they couldn't keep Russell Wilson upright, and Seattle couldn't get to Goff. And they only got 3. They got 3 sacks, but it wasn't enough. So I think, what was it? Their last loss in the regular season for the Rams was against the Seahawks. So they turned it around, right? They learned a lesson. I think Goff was a difference maker. I think for him, I don't think we're having the same discussion if Horford is still in the game, right?
No,
I'm just saying, that's a lot of turning points. You strike hard. Use a Cobra Kai, strike hard, strike first, no mercy. That's what they just did. Control the game, right? Time of possession. They won the time of possession. They only allowed 3 sacks. 71 total plays versus 57 for the Seahawks. Just a nonstop 16 first downs. A better third down efficiency. Not by much, but better third down efficiency.
Yeah, they were both terrible.
Yeah, so all those little small details and everything, you just have I don't think you have that discussion if you have Horford at the realm, So hey, I'll credit to Horford, but he won the last game.
Wolford.
Did I say Horford again? My bad. Yeah, but you guys, all credit to him, but he won that last game to get him to the playoffs.
Well, you
right?
never know. Maybe if he stays in that game, he has his Heineke moment.
Yeah.
And he just pops off all over Russell Wilson in that defense.
Is that a new saying right there? Heineke moment?
Hey,
Well,
it should be.
one thing-
Heineken, pick that up as a slogan right now.
Right.
Really? Not even Nick Foles moment?
Hell no.
No.
What has Nick Foles done besides get benched?
In the playoffs. In Eagles. Wentz was supposed to be MVP and went down. Eagles season was over.
And Nick Foles, came in and won the.
What do they say about broken watches? They're right twice a day. That was his twice a day moment that season.
There we go.
And
I will say, I think these a lot of these QBs come in out of nowhere and perform well because none of these coaches have any film on them.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know what they're gonna do, and I think that might have a lot to do with it. Even Heineke, again, kudos to him for how great he played. Play like that for 3 games and then see what happens on the 4th one.
Yep. So,
unless you're Doug Peterson, of course, then you get him them reps in.
hey, too soon. Okay.
Against Washington. He's like,
Build
I
a
know what I got.
I'm gonna build a statue.
Where's Wentz at anyway?
And Bud Light will pay for it.
So the next game, let's see here, what are we at right now? Washington versus Tampa. Speaking of Heineke, they were riding the momentum. I keep talking about Washington. It was 1-game win streak going to the playoffs. You gotta go, but you gotta do something. Gotta get it all starts with one step, right? So we know Alex Smith was going to be the starter, but Heineke ended up getting in there. I think we've already said that a few times, and everybody's probably said that. What a performance against the GOAT. Taylor Heineke, almost the same numbers as Tom Brady, and we talked about his quarterback rating: 26 for 44, 306 yards, a touchdown, and 1 INT versus Tom Brady's 22 for 40, 381 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. So matching up right there, doing everything he possibly can to get that game. So what do you think were the key besides Heineke? What other stuff did Washington do to to expose, I guess, the Bucks right there.
Well, I think one of the big things was the fumble
Mm-hmm.
from the Bucks. I think this game is closer than it looks because was it in the fourth quarter that fumble occurred? Yeah, because it was a 2-possession game before that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't think the rush had anything to do with it. Chase Young never got a hands on Tom Brady, not once. Buccaneers offense played really well in this game, except for that fumble. 31 points, right? Good job there. As far as Washington, I mean, I don't know what to tell you besides Heineke just making the randomest weird. Yeah, he threw 2 picks, but he also made some crazy throws where you're just like, is this Russell Wilson or like Patrick? Like, who is this guy? You know, there's like 5 of those throws where you're just like, what just happened? But that was it. I mean, I think that's what kept them in the game the entire time. I mean, even at the end, they had a chance to go down, score, and tie it up, take it overtime.
I think Heineke was just pissed off about being third man. He's like, Haskins is going to strip clubs. Yeah. I'm in my damn room by myself, watching all this film, doing all this studying, and I gotta wait for him to get kicked off the team. I gotta wait for Alex Smith to unfortunately not be able to play.
He said, "Hold my beer."
He said, "Hold my Heineken. This is my Heineke moment right now, and I'm about to take advantage." He knew. I mean, like,
he should be in a Heineken commercial.
That was his shot. I mean, it's in the playoffs. It's the biggest opportunity you're gonna get this season at all. I mean, he took advantage of that moment. He showed everybody that he came to play. He's been an underdog his whole career. He went to Old Dominion out there in Virginia to play foosball in college. Went to the XFL. Credit to that team for picking him up. Then, at the end of the day, credit to my Washington football team for picking him up and knowing that he was Luke Skywalker, who unfortunately fell to Darth Vader there in a very close game.
He just called Tom Brady Darth Vader? I think.
Look, people don't like Tom Brady. I have nothing against Tom Brady. Wow. But you got to also remember, Anakin's a good guy in the long run.
That's true. That's a good point.
He's just dominant.
He's misunderstood. Yeah. But
except Darth Vader doesn't wear Uggs.
That's a good point. A lot of good points. Yeah. So, but did Washington lose it, or did the Bucks just give up a lot? Because they were already coasting, like you said, they were already up 2 scores, I guess, in the end. Or did the Washington expose them, make them more vulnerable to the Saints? Because the Saints already beat Tampa Bay twice, right? So, what you take away for the Bucks? Like, are they riding that momentum right now, or are they trying to change pace right now with what they did?
I think they're definitely riding the momentum right now. There's no doubt to that. I mean, again, the first 4 weeks after the bye, you come in and you're outscoring everyone like it's nothing, and you're just going, okay, that's just you're playing against bad defenses. And then now, Washington's biggest strength is their defense. You go up against that defense, you can put 31 on them in Washington. Kudos to you. I mean, they're definitely riding the momentum. That entire offense looked different. Like Rob, like you mentioned before, AB and Tom Brady, they look nothing like that first game against the Saints, or the second game when AB finally came in and they're playing. They look a lot more like they built a lot of chemistry. It's the playoffs. Don't count Gronk out. We didn't hear that name a lot in the Washington game, and I think that's one of the strengths of Tom Brady is you throw to one guy 3 times in one game, the next game he's throwing to somebody else. Like you never know who he's gonna throw the ball to. Right. If you can catch, he'll throw the ball to you. But yeah, they're definitely gonna ride the momentum. I think they're definitely gonna. They have 2 games to watch film on right now. They're gonna make adjustments. Bad thing for the Saints is they look at the offense. They can only go off the first game. They look at the second game's offense. They're not gonna have a lot to take away from that. Right. But Bucks will have a lot to take away from the way Saints offense played, and I think that's a little advantage to Buccaneers. And they also seem like they play better on the road this year for whatever reason, so that might also be an advantage. There are no fans in the stands too, so those are all factors you got to take in. But yes, they're definitely gonna ride the momentum in.
Let's see what happens. Yep. What do you think, Rob?
Yeah, I think definitely, because the Buccaneers have a pretty good defense. I wouldn't say as good as Chicago, but it's definitely up there. I think I was, talking about chemistry. some of the passes that Tom Brady was making, it almost seemed like dudes weren't even looking. They just knew it was going to be there and grabbed it and freaking kept going.
Yeah, it's almost like in the huddle, it's like, hey, when you get to the 50-yard line, put your hands up and the ball will hit you.
Put it right over your left shoulder and it's going to be in your hands. You just keep it.
Right.
Like
the
you said with
Sandlot.
Gronk, he didn't have that that great of a showing, but I think he's when you're talking about those sort of passes and those sorts of catches, he's number one. A lot of the catches that he makes from Tom Brady, I don't even know how he even saw the ball was there. Yeah. It's just it was there the entire time. He snuck with it and got 10 yards down the line.
Gronk is also blocking really well.
He's dived in.
Yeah.
I think earlier in the season he was a little bit more timid coming off the retirement, but now he's all right, I'm going to get hit, but I can hit you a lot harder than you can.
Mike Evans will come back healthier than he did this last week. Yeah. Sorry
and
to keep
hopefully
cutting you
Chris
off.
Godwin won't just drop every open pass that he gets.
Yeah, Godwin got a lot of room to make up right there because he cost me my fantasy football champ. No, we're not going to talk about my fantasy football. So anyways, moving on. Moving on to the Buffalo game versus Indianapolis. So I think we had the great Phillip Rivers. I talked a lot about him right there. But as much as, he's been to the playoffs, 12 playoff appearances, 5-7, never been to a Super Bowl. But if you look at the stat line on this game, everything, if you just look at the numbers, Colts win this game. But clearly I know, Colts didn't win. So they had more total yards, 472 versus 397. They had more rushing yards, out rushing them, more first downs, third down efficiency, you name it, everything. The Colts had it. But as we all know, you think the same thing that the Buffalo Bills have been doing all season. They started off quick and then just coast to the end. You think that this was the same kind of thing where teams just rack up those numbers at the end? And how do you think that played out for the Colts?
Yeah. Well, number one thing, when you were just reading those stats off, they just remind me of the regular season Miami Dolphins. In every major category, the opposing team is winning, but the W goes to the was going to the Dolphins, and that's what that reminds me of. But yeah, I think it's a great idea for them to come in strong, go put up a couple of touchdowns on the board, because especially when you go up 1 or 2 scores, then you can open up your playbook, right? You can run the ball, you can do play action, you can do whatever you want to do. But they've been doing a good job of just coming in and just coming in fast and strong, and that's a big thing. They don't go, okay, let's see how the first or second quarter goes, and then we'll pick up momentum and make adjustments. But they look like they come in with, I think it kind of shake ups their opponent, and it definitely helps them out. And I think that's going to be the same tone they're going to come with this week too against the Ravens. So that's going to be a very interesting matchup to me. Rob?
Yeah, I think the only difference in this game really was definitely Josh Allen. Like I was saying earlier, he put that game on his back. I don't really think that. Both teams obviously performed very well. But I think Josh being able to keep plays alive when it seems hopeless against that defense, and making the passes that he was able to make, 'cause he's just a superstar overall. And I think if maybe the Colts had, I don't want to say a better quarterback because Phillip Rivers is good, but if they had somebody with a little bit more youth, I think you would say, that maybe, and I don't want to say that in a bad way, but I think they win that game. I said that was the hardest matchup for me to choose at the start of the playoffs because both of these teams are so damn good. And it sucks that they had to play each other because I think if the Colts would have played any other team, that they probably would have won that matchup. I don't care if it was the Ravens. I don't care if it was the Browns, the Titans.
Say it, Rob. Who else? Do you not care if it's the Chiefs?
Well, the Chiefs had a bye, so they don't count anyway. But even then, I don't
fair.
know. The Chiefs, maybe they would have beat the Chiefs.
Ooh.
The Chiefs, I'm not too sold on at all at this point.
Ooh. Says the guy who said last week said, I don't think Chiefs care who they play. They're just going to win.
That's true, but you know what? Times have changed. And I've had several nights
the
of
last
sleep
6
since
days,
then.
a lot has
And
changed.
there's something about that team. They're like the Death Star. Like, yes, they can kill you whenever they want, but they have one major flaw. And if you can find that flaw, you can shut them down.
Yeah, they never cover the spread. They always
Exactly.
play too close to the chest.
So all you have to do is cover that spread, and you can beat.
That not in the playoffs. You can't just cover the
cover
spread, Rob.
Look.
The spread is 10. How many points is the spread? 10 points.
Yeah, but they're playing the Browns. For the Bills potentially if they win, like you can't play how you played against the Colts.
No.
Like you have to come out slinging.
Yeah.
Stephon Diggs is gonna have to have another Minneapolis miracle moment if they want to beat the Chiefs. But I think they can do it. I think they played well. It sucks for Phillip Rivers because he was really out there doing the best he could to win this game. But
If the Raiders
Bills
can
and
find a
Reds.
way to put up 40 points on the Chiefs,
they got their number though.
so can the Bills.
Henry Ruggs, that man is a monster.
I guess.
I mean, he was he spread the ball around. What's his name? Phillip Rivers. He was like Jonathan Taylor. I was so close to
Jonathan
say.
Taylor Thomas.
I was gonna say Jonathan Taylor Thomas. I was
He's in
stop
the
myself.
NFL now. Home improvement
He
kid.
made it. He made it to the big time.
Wow.
Whoa, so
What a
close.
career.
I'm so glad I didn't go there. But Jonathan Taylor got a touchdown. That's why I was so close. Touchdown, running back. He's a running back, and he's not the home improvement kid. But Michael Pittman, Jack Doyle, Zach Pascal, Trey, they all had he spread the ball around pretty well, but they were still just averaging the biggest one was Pittman at 18 average yards per play. I think he had 5 receptions and 90 yards. But then you turn around, like you talk about Allen over here making Stephon Diggs, Gabriel Davis. Those are big. They're averaging 20 yards. So the two big guys. Were those the difference makers right there as far as receiving, you think, or just having those main guys that can carry a team for you? What do you think about that, Tom?
I think those two guys make a big difference. I think having those two guys on the field put that fear in, not necessarily the fear, but that's where the attention goes, which opens up more options for the other receivers.
Exactly.
So I think those two guys being on the field is a huge thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you were saying Jonathan Taylor. He's not the home improvement kid.
Not that good.
But
No.
he has improved this team, and he's made an immediate impact
Well
this
played.
season. He's phenomenal. But talking about chemistry this whole time, Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. That's like Brady to Moss at this point. Obviously, not 50 touchdowns, but those two.
23 between the two, sir.
That's that's a lot of touchdowns between those two. Hopefully he can keep feeding him the ball. I mean, Cole Beasley's been excellent this season as well. He said this is I think he said this was the best fit he's had in his entire career being on the Bills.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, he had Tony Romo thrown to him I think at one point.
Yep.
So
Barely, but yeah.
Sir, he won me my first fantasy football championship. So Tony Romo, with his bad arm and everything. So just want to throw that out there, But yeah, so I mean, good players overall, and they make the difference, So see how they go into the next round. They're playing Baltimore, right, for the next round. That's gonna be a game right there.
yes.
Then moving on to the greatest game ever played, Pittsburgh versus Cleveland. I think we talked about
The greatest game that was never played.
that. Was never
because
okay.
They
Yeah.
fumbled the ball.
I left that left that one word there. Yeah. So
4 touchdowns and 4 picks for Big Ben.
Ooh.
500 yards.
Hey.
Second most in playoffs.
my
Hey.
goodness.
That's something. It
40
ain't a win, but
47 completions. I think the most.
Yeah, he threw 60. He had
and
60
his QBR
attempts.
was 158.
So that's the most in playoff or regular season, right? 47 receptions or completions, right, for Ben. So yeah, doing that and to lose a game. So that's
Well, he had to do something because that game was over after the first quarter.
right.
He had to do something to get them back in it.
Uh,
Because Juju, I mean, he took them out of that game before it even started by making that comment about meaningless or what was it, blank gray face.
That was the only thing that made me feel better about the Browns beating the Steelers after I picked the Steelers was the Juju comment. I mean, did you see their faces after the game was over on the sideline?
Big Ben especially. He looks like he was contemplating his whole life at that point.
I saw that look
gotta
and I was like,
move.
this is it. He's
I
retiring.
gotta
He's
leave
not
this
coming
city.
back.
I gotta
Man, yeah.
change my name.
Small
Like,
bit.
that honestly, I was happy that the Browns won, but I felt really bad watching him on the sideline, like just sitting there. Because it's not all his fault. I mean, he really did try his best to get them back into that game, but it just seems like destiny was against them, and he obviously can't do much up against that. But Juju, man, I feel like it's the curse of Pittsburgh, that culture they have over there. I don't know what it is about. I don't want to say acting out, but people like needing to, I guess, really act out like the way that he has been.
Maybe it's a little bit of attention seeking.
Maybe it's something with the coaching.
Yeah,
I like Tomlin, but man, maybe it's something with him, because that team has not been the same ever since Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell. They won 11 games in a row, but they also got blown out by the Browns in the playoffs. So,
yep, it's rough. Well, there's a lot to be said for the Browns. I know they got the interceptions. Defense played well. That's an understatement. Defense played well, so the 4 picks, right? And but Baker Mayfield's going off. Doing what he's supposed to be doing. 21 for 34, 263 yards, 3 touchdowns. He's firing on all cylinders.
He had his Heineke moment,
Yeah.
We say blown out. It was an 11-point game.
Yeah, but it was a blowout.
Yeah, they were down 28-0 at the first quarter.
They put it on cruise control, and they're like, keep scoring. We don't care because we already won this game. It don't matter.
Yeah, it was
they were singing on the sidelines. They were doing all man. Good for them. Good for Baker, because I feel like he gets a lot of crap. So it's good for him.
He gets a lot of crap.
Those A&M quarterbacks haven't done so well, so good for him coming back in and bringing a win for them.
And the cool thing,
Johnny.
which maybe, I don't know, plays out a little bit different. Who knows what he can do against Kansas City, but he's spreading the ball around more than I've seen. He's got Landry, even Chubb getting in there.
Kareem Hunt.
Hooper, yeah.
Kareem Hunt was getting some passes.
Everybody's getting the 10 average yards per play and everything, and it's just doing that, keeping the defense spread out a little bit more, opens up the field for him. I think even he got some rushing yards in the process. So Baker Mayfield doing what he's supposed to be doing for a team that's never been to where they're never been. They haven't been there in a while. So
they haven't been there in, what was it, 26 years or something like that?
Right.
Yeah. I believe that is it. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Let's just say that. I don't think they won a road playoff game since 1980 something.
It's crazy.
Or was it 90 something?
It might have been
97.
It's a long time.
Yeah.
So
happy for the Browns.
And see how they play out in the next round. So what's the next? I don't have that one written down. I'm so unprepared. What's the next one?
First playoff win since 1994. It's right here. I don't know why I didn't see that.
Yeah, 26.
You want to do a little small break there?
Y'all want to do the picks first?
Picks? We haven't. We still got 2 more. We have actually 1 more. Tennessee and Baltimore. Y'all just finished that one, and we can talk about that one.
I feel like we've covered that 3 times already.
Yeah.
Tennessee versus Baltimore.
Yeah, man.
We talked about it already.
Yeah, because I've talked about Derrick Henry sucking ass.
Yeah.
At least
55 total rush yards.
Can you say it one more time? No, I'm just kidding. Okay. So
No, you know what? Derrick Henry's a phenomenal player. He had a bad game. That's all it was. He's going to be better.
He's a legitimate MVP candidate.
See, his problem was that he had his Heineke moment all season long and then just lost it.
poor Heineke.
He told Lamar Jackson, he was like, you can have the Heineken right now. Okay, I've had it all season. I'm good.
Right. Well, cool. We'll see. Okay. Well, then we'll take a small break then, and we'll come back and talk our picks for the divisional playoffs here.
Adios.
All right. right, guys, we're back, ready to talk divisional round playoffs for the NFL. So we have 4 games this weekend coming up. We have number 6, LA at Green Bay. Number 5, Baltimore at Buffalo. Number 6, Cleveland at Kansas City. And then we have number 5, Tampa Bay at New Orleans. Or New Orleans, as they say. Did I say it right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, so first game, let's start off. I'll open up the floor. So we got Rams versus Green Bay, or Rams versus Packers. Let me just say it right. Green Bay's got the -6. -6.
Same
Good
math.
Lord.
Same
Words.
math. It's
Good-
okay.
Good Lord.
It's okay.
Help me with
Rams
words,
are the
please.
underdogs by 6 points. There you go, buddy.
I have completed a sentence. Okay, yes. So who wants to start out the floor or the topic? Yeah. Go ahead, Rob, before I run out of words.
This one's tough. I like Aaron Rodgers a lot. Him and Devontae Adams have just been sensational this whole year. I think both of them deserve MVP, not just one or the other. They both just been playing so well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the Jalen Ramsey, Devontae setup, how that's going to go. Obviously, Aaron can throw it to whoever he wants to throw it to. If they're open, they're going to get it because he's gonna get it there. But those two, I feel like, have been have had the most chemistry this whole season. And if Jalen can shut Devontae down the way that he did DK, I feel like LA's got a shot.
Yep.
I don't necessarily know if they're going to win the game. I think they 100% cover that spread, though. I think it's going to be close. The other thing is, in games, I think
By day, you mean the Rams are going to cover the spread?
yeah.
Okay.
But also, counterpoint to everything that I just said that I'm going with.
Yeah.
Jared Goff, I think in games that are under 40 degrees, has not thrown a touchdown. And he's lost both of those games. So, I'm going with Green Bay on this one. They like it out there in the cold, that wind chill. Aaron Rodgers, I think he said, they're more miserable than I am. And that's all he's got to do. He's just got to keep in mind that they are a lot more miserable now that they're in LA. They're way too used to that sunny weather. I mean, what are they going to do to prepare for this? Turn on a AC unit, shut all the windows, let it get real cool in there.
Go to Minnesota, maybe have them practice in their stadium and say, hey, listen, we'll keep Green Bay from another Super Bowl.
Hey, they're going to have to do whatever they can. Aaron Donald's going to have to get through that. I mean, I don't know if David Bakhtiari, I think he's out still. I think he's out for the season. Mm-hmm. So that's one less person there. I don't know. I really want to pick the Rams. Let me put that on record. I really want to pick the Rams, but I'm going with Green Bay. I think they're going to pull it through.
Green Bay. How about you, Tom?
Look, in a perfect world, I would want Bucks to beat the Saints, Rams to beat Green Bay, so then Bucks can have that NFC Championship game at home, because you guys already know I want to see Brady in the playoffs.
Super Bowl, not just the playoffs.
Sorry, Super Bowl. He's already in the playoffs. What am I talking about?
Right.
But look, at the end of the day, I have to give the edge to Green Bay here, simply because they have Aaron Rodgers. And I'm not necessarily saying he's a better receiver, but I do think Devontae Adams is going to catch more balls than DK Metcalf did. I think he finds ways to be open. I don't know how. I feel like most of the time when the ball snaps, I don't know where the guy is. I don't know where he's running to, but until Rodgers throw the ball. And he's just there, and he's just catching the ball. He's been outstanding this entire season. DK Metcalf plays so well, but they had their ups and downs. I don't think Devontae Adams ever had an up and down except for the time where he didn't play. But yeah, I do have to give the edge to the Packers. I think that any player who's ever played in Green Bay knows that cold is a different cold. And they don't have a close stadium. So, especially if what you're saying is right, hey, Jared Goff has not thrown a touchdown when it's under 40 degrees. Well, guess what? It's definitely well under 40 degrees. And then lastly, the only thing is the only edge Rams have is that defense and getting to Aaron Rodgers. We saw the Bucs hit him a couple of times, kept rushing him, and then, I mean, he threw a touchdown. They had a field goal, but since then, I mean, it was all downhill for them. They put up 10 points against the Buccaneers. So if LA defense can startle Aaron Rodgers and kind of somewhat do what Buccaneers did to them, I'm sure they can find a way. I'm sure Sean McVay will find a way to get that offense to put up more than 10 points on the board and win the game. So the only shot of Rams winning this game is if it's a very low-scoring game. But, yeah, unfortunately, in Green Bay, in this weather, I have to give the S to Rodgers and company.
Yeah.
Jose?
Well, you guys know I love the veterans out there. And, I think for me, Rodgers, I mean, we all know what he can do and everything. It's just a matter of now the question is, for me, what can LA do? They're coming in with all these injuries plaguing them. And like you said, they're not going in to nice sunny Miami over here. It's nowhere nice, great weather and everything to play with. Green Bay is playing in Lambeau, but there's not going to be anybody there. So the home field advantage, I think, you take that away, they're -6 on the spread right there. So I think Green Bay does have that. For me, I think it's all going to come down to the injuries and how Aaron Donald's injury. I think he's expected to play anyways. Is that the latest I've heard on that?
Yes.
Just the same thing I said, but it's not going to change my thought on this one. Once again, I am going to go against the Rams on this one. I'm going to go with discount double check, and Rodgers is going to go. Y'all remember
it's State Farm now, sir.
Discount. Oh, that's right. But he did the championship move in this season, so traitor. He did that. He did one of the.
I'm pretty sure he did that, and discount double checked used like that's where
Is
they
that
came
right?
from.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, it's State Farm.
But anyways, he's gonna do it again. So just over the Rams this time. So I think it'll just come down to the injuries for me on that one. And the injury, Goff and Wolford. I say right, Wolford? Yeah. Horford? No, I said Wolford this time. I said it right. So yeah, for me that we got Green Bay on that. Next game is number 5 Baltimore Ravens versus number 2 Buffalo Bills. Rob, what do you think on that game?
Man, you had to have me go first. Okay.
I'm just kidding. Tom, I'm just kidding. Go ahead, Rob.
This one has me reaching in the depths of my brain because I don't know. I don't really know who's going to win this game. I feel like the Ravens looked really good. Buffalo, they were challenged, and they met that challenge, and they ended up winning. But, man.
-2.
-2 is those games, whenever it's that close, it's always really tricky.
That's a
My
coin
heart
flip.
really, really, really wants Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're one of the better teams. They're still hot. I think they might be a little shaken since they only beat the Colts by 3.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like I'm having a breakdown right now, but I'm picking the Ravens. I think the Ravens will actually dethrone the Bills. I think Lamar Jackson, he has a lot to – he has the chip on his shoulder, essentially. He was on the cover of Madden. Everybody says once you're on the cover of Madden, you hit that curse.
Mm-hmm.
And he – first half of the season did not play like an MVP. That whole team, and then with them getting COVID and them being taken out, like that team has just gotten some solidarity. I think that win against the Titans was a big boost for their ego. Like they needed that win and to assert their dominance on a team like the Titans in order to get like their head back into the right space.
Mm-hmm.
And I like Josh Allen, but I just don't know how he's going to perform in the playoffs against the Ravens. I feel like this could be the Ravens' best shot at getting to a Super Bowl this postseason. But we'll see what they do. I mean, I might be completely crazy. There might be a lot of people out there who's like, you're an idiot. And I will say, I agree with you. But I'm still going with the Ravens over the Bills.
Yep. Ravens.
I don't necessarily think this is the best shot Ravens have of getting to the Super Bowl. Browns were, I think, 3 points away from beating them during the regular season a few weeks ago.
Mhm.
Kansas City stomped all over them, and those two teams are still in the playoffs. Granted, they're playing each other this week, but those two teams are still in the playoffs. So not necessarily the best chance Ravens have, in my opinion. I'm going to go with the Bills. And one of the main factors is, like I mentioned before, Tennessee does not have the best defense.
Oh, no.
Why are you putting 20 points up against Tennessee? Why? We talked about how if it was acceptable for Saints to put up 21 against the Bears defense, how's, I mean, yeah, kudos to Lamar Jackson. Great job. You went in, you won the game. Ravens defense shut Derrick Henry down, kept that team to 13 points on offense, and which made that was a score, right?
20 to 13, yeah.
20 to 13, yeah. And Ravens offense put up 20 points against the not the best Tennessee defense. So my question here is, hey, listen, Bills defense is better. My question is, if Bills defense holds the Ravens to under 20 points, what can Bills offense do?
I don't know. My thing is, the Ravens have a better defense than the Colts do. And
they do.
The Bills struggled against that defense. Now, granted, they also weren't able to really stop, Phillip Rivers from, essentially having one of the best games in his postseason career. But there's something about this game that's just reaching out for me from the universe that says everybody's too onto the Bills. Even though I love Josh Allen, y'all both know. At the beginning of the season, I was saying he was
we
going
were
to be
arguing
MVP.
back and forth.
And y'all said I was crazy,
Yep.
but that was back when Russell Wilson was in those talks as well. But I was hot on Josh Allen. I still think he's going to be a great quarterback, but I just don't think it's like when those teams get too hot and they've won too many games in a row. I feel like
Like the
they're about
Ravens
to get
last
tripped
year.
up. Yeah, like this is going to be the moment for Baltimore to try. That would be such a great matchup. Chiefs, Ravens.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And I think Chiefs would rather have the Bills. I said it last week, and I'll say it again. I think Chiefs would rather have the Bills in the AFC Championship game than the Ravens.
Yeah.
But yeah, my main thing is Lamar going to be? Did Lamar perform as well as everyone think? He played well, but they also put up 20 points against that very questionable Titans defense. And I picked the Bills to go to the Super Bowl. I have to stick with my pick. I'm going to have to go with the Bills. Go Josh Allen.
Bills. All right.
Jose?
Yeah, I'm a little bit mixed on this one too. It's a tough one but I mean, like, I know you said they only scored 20 points against the Titans, but that's all I needed. That's all I needed to score. So and in some instances, they did start off the game really bad. You got popped in the mouth, like they're down 10-zip, and they had to do something to bring it back. Now, that being said, like we talk about defense, and being able to stop a guy like Josh Allen. He's thrown 302 passes to wide receivers. 22 more than any other quarterback in the league right now. So the guy's hot, and he's spreading the ball around. He's got this 2 star receivers and everything. I think as far as I know, like injury wise, they got Marcus Peters, who got that nice interception at the last couple minutes and decided to go into the Titans logo, right? So he might be hurt right now. So that being said, right there, I think the edge for me, I think is leaning towards for Buffalo on that one, just because. And yeah, Josh Allen. You got to go with
I like these odds.
Rob's already smiling.
So yeah.
When y'all are picking against me, that's when I got the best
I know.
shot.
All these teams got to watch out. Well, I got a 50-50 chance. I was 3 for 6 in the first round. Okay, so I got a 50. So
It's comeback time for me.
Everybody.
We'll see. I'm gonna keep chugging along. Action Jackson. Heineke moment. Right here.
Green Bay and Buffalo can be the 50% that I'm right on. Okay, so it's going to be. So I just feel bad for the third and fourth picks I had coming up. So I think that being said, yeah. So those are the reasons for that game for me. Then we had the third matchup for the week. Number 6, Cleveland versus number 1, Kansas City. That's a -10 for Kansas City on that one. Pretty nice spread. Tom, you want to start us off on that one?
I think the answer to me is pretty easy, and I'm gonna say Chiefs. I think that was the easiest choice in this. And if you ask me, I'll also say, hey, bet against the Chiefs on the spread. They haven't covered it. They suck at covering spreads. They play too close to the chest. And it's a 10-point spread. I don't think they're going to cover it. Now, here's the thing. They do play too close to the chest. Number one thing, it's going to be a very high-scoring game. Browns have let 8 of 16 teams they played this year put up more than 25 points on them.
Ooh,
And I think Chiefs offense is easily going to put up 25 points on the Browns. But Browns offense have been playing lights out. So I think it's going to be a back and forth game. I think it's going to remind us a little bit of the Raiders and Chiefs games these past 2 weeks. At the end of the day, look, I personally, again, I congratulated the Browns earlier. Kudos to them. I'm glad they won. But the Steelers lost that game. The Steelers should have won that game. They lost that game more than the Browns won that game. I don't even think the Browns are supposed to be here right now. And therefore, I think the Chiefs are just going to go home with the win. And you got to go to Arrowhead and play.
Yeah, I'm not so comfortable. This one is having me, I have an existential crisis going on.
Just for the record, I would love to see the Browns win. Just to clarify, I would not be upset if my pick is wrong.
I think the Chiefs are going to win. That being said, if the Chiefs have a turnover on their first drive, not as bad as the Pittsburgh did, obviously. Pittsburgh is not as bad as the Steelers did.
Right.
But if they have a turnover on their first drive, a fumble or an interception, they lose the game. That's what I'm saying. So I'm picking the Chiefs, but my Madam Zamboni prediction is if they turn the ball over their first drive, Browns win the game.
Nice.
But Chiefs.
Chiefs, like last year, is not going to be able to go down 20 points, 24 points, and come back and win this one. They're going to have to stay alert, stay neck and neck.
They just, I don't know, something about them. They just seem vulnerable to me.
Yeah, because they don't, like you said last week, they don't care who they're playing.
Yeah,
they just
look,
believe
I backpedaled on
they're
that
going to
so
win.
hard.
I know. That's why I keep saying it as much as I possibly
They're
can.
about to just destroy anybody, but I don't know how I feel about that anymore. I feel like they are, and maybe it's because I haven't seen them play in a while, but it's just something's off. I don't know. It's a weird feeling.
Who you got, Jose?
Man, it's like an easy pick for me, but then I don't want to be like give up. Hang on, I'm gonna keep it secret here for a minute so you guys don't know who I'm going for. But Browns got Coach Stefanski. He's coming back, right? So he's going to be on the sidelines right now.
I don't know. I think it's better for him to stay away.
He's coming back. He's full strength right now, okay? He's not going to let anything keep him down. So, but no, it's not. I'm not going to keep this secret very much. But I mean, obviously the Chiefs are my pick right there. They've been doing good, and yeah, they haven't been winning a lot of games. I mean, like blowout. I mean, they've been doing really well, but a lot of those games they've been really close and too close for comfort. As far as what the Raiders, I think they came back in the last few minutes to beat that one. So I mean, a lot of games have come down to the last possession, which Mahomes can handle that. So
Falcons,
yeah,
they put up 17 points. They were a field goal away in the fourth quarter. Falcons were a field goal away. He missed a field goal to tie the game up late in the fourth quarter.
Exactly. So they got Edwards-Helaire trying to come back. I think he's after injury right now. So I don't know.
They also have Le'Veon Bell. So.
Yeah, but they haven't been really productive though. Like they haven't needed them to be productive. I mean, he spreads the ball around pretty well. So I think there's a lot to be said for that. But yeah, you do have a good backfield moving through. So I mean, for that, I think Kansas City. I don't think anything else is as far as injuries. That's the only thing they have going for them. I mean, like that. Browns don't have any injuries, do they? Anything? Jack Conklin.
I think one of their offensive linemen is out.
Yeah, he sat out Wednesday practice. Jack Conklin, he's out right now. Hamstring injury that knocked him out of Sunday's playoff win over Pittsburgh, but he might. So it's day to day right now. But besides that, I mean, both teams full. -10 for Kansas City. I think it'll be a close game. I think it won't be a blowout, but I mean, I would love to see the Browns go a little further, but I mean, I think Kansas City's going to take this one. So, And that brings us to the matchup. This was the matchup of the ages right here. Tampa Bay versus New Orleans. New Orleans. New Orleans a -3. So let's take this one first.
Did y'all know Brees has more wins than Brady whenever they met up?
But by how many?
I think now with the last 2 losses, I want to say by 3 games. Fun fact: one of them, Brees was still in a Chargers uniform.
So you're saying
their very first matchup.
Okay, so it's been a long time.
so you're saying Brady's due for a win right now? Is that what you're trying to tell?
Well, listen, this is the toughest one, but I'm gonna go with the Bucs for 2 reasons. One, they're one of the only 2 teams that came through for me this last week, and 2, third time's a charm. I said that for the Ravens. That was the 3rd time Lamar was playing the Titans, and I said, hey, he lost 2 times he played, and 3rd time's a charm. And at the end of the day, look, I don't want to bet against Brady in the playoffs. For all I know, this could be another 38-3 game. For all I know, this could be a 24-21 game. For all I know, it's going to be a reverse 38-3. Bucs are going to win game. I don't know, but I just refuse to bet against him until the clock hits 0. Simple as that. But yeah, like I said, one of the main things is how much better the offense have done, and in stopping, or I'm sorry, in scoring the past couple of weeks, and they put that extra man on the field to block, and whether it's a tight end, a lot of times that's what we saw against Washington. Gronk was blocking a lot more than he was trying to catch balls, and Brady's fitting balls into tight windows, and they're gonna do that against New Orleans, I believe. So offensively, they're going to put more points on the board. And yeah, they put 38 points against the Bucs defense, but we have to understand, like, the Bucs offense played so poorly the last time they met up, that the defense never had time to go over there and have a sip of Gatorade or catch a breath. I mean, they're coming over, they take the helmet out, they turn around, it's like, oh, another interception, let's go back out on the field. So they weren't very well rested throughout the game, and I think that had a lot to do with the 2. One of the things they for sure do need to do, like we mentioned earlier, is tighten up that defense, because, again, Brees was throwing to wide open receivers. That is something that they need to adjust, but overall, I think it'll be a fairly high-scoring game. I think it'll be a fun game to watch. I think it's going to be a back-and-forth game. I'm gonna give the edge to Tampa Bay here. So I'm picking Brady.
I think this is the most important game out of these 4, because Buffalo, Baltimore, I don't think it really matters who goes into that lineup, because they're headed probably to the Chiefs. But Green Bay, something about them seems vulnerable to me too, just like the Chiefs. I feel like whoever wins this matchup is going to go to the Super Bowl.
Between Green Bay and Rams? Or between, New Orleans and Bucs?
Yeah, I think whoever wins this one is going to be the favorite, because Green Bay is phenomenal on offense. Their defense is just okay. Both of these teams have great offenses and great defenses.
Well, we already saw what the Bucs did.
Yeah.
To Green Bay.
Now, that might have been a fluke, though. That's the only thing, because that was like a once in a, 3-year span game for Aaron Rodgers right there. That never happens to him. Man, this is hard. This is so hard, because in my heart of hearts, I really want Tampa Bay. Yeah. Like I do. There's just something about, I want Tom Brady, I want Gronk, I want Antonio Brown, I want
Mike Evans deserves a Super Bowl.
He does. Chris Godwin too. I mean, Scotty Miller.
Yeah.
Tom Brady's making him look like Taylor Heineke out there. He's just like killing everybody.
Good old Heineke.
Like, they have just...
You could have said Julian Edelman, but you had to go with Heineke.
You kidding me? You put Heineke out there on the slot? He's killing everybody, okay? He's outrunning them all. I don't know. I'll pick Tampa Bay. I think they're going to win. only because I want them to win, and it's one of those Goku
That's what I did with Chicago last week. I was trying to avoid this matchup. Why do you think I picked Chicago?
Yeah, it's
The
rough.
Saints are a scary team.
You know,
Oh my
they are. So
gosh.
here's my thing. Here's my take on this. I do think that if Tampa Bay beats Saints and it's Green Bay Tampa Bay, I think Tampa Bay is gonna win. I don't think Saints are gonna go beat Green Bay. Not in Lambeau. I don't think that's happening.
Interesting point. I disagree. But I think New Orleans is just, man, they're hot. They got Drew Brees go down. They got Taysom Hill out there in the Wildcat. Rumors have it that they just signed Taylor Heineke.
Didn't
They're gonna
Hill-
have him out there in the slot?
Didn't he have a
Everybody.
pick last game against the Bears?
Who?
Taysom Hill had a pick.
Don't matter.
He had a.
He shouldn't have been throwing the ball anyway. He's out there as a wrecking
They
ball.
knocked it out of his hand. Someone else just caught it.
Really?
So I think they called it a pick because someone
Wow.
caught it before it hit
I
the ground.
immediately blocked that out of
Technicalities.
my memory. But yeah, Tampa Bay, I think they're going to win just because Tom Brady's so goddamn good looking, isn't he?
Really?
Yeah.
Out there in front of the...
Better than Heineke?
No, let him talk.
Okay, first off, we all know no one's better looking than Heineke. That's GQ
Rob, if I
model
showed
of
you a
the year.
picture of Heineke
Oh,
right
I
now,
know what
would
he
you
looks
rec-
like. He looks like a dub. That's what he looks like. He looks like he's winning games. He looks like 1,000 yards rushing, receiving, and passing. That's what he looks like. But yeah, all jokes aside, Tampa Bay, go win the game.
Okay. Well, I'm not gonna rock the boat. I'm just gonna say
You should.
Tampa. No, I can't. I want to.
We're agreeing too much today. I don't know how I feel about that.
I want to pick New Orleans, but I'm not going to go back. I just feel like they're probably going to win, but I want Tampa to win.
Come on, Rob, pick New Orleans. We'll let you change your pick.
Nah, dude,
Wait. I don't know how I feel
too
about that
late.
because I want Tampa to win, and every time we disagree with Rob,
This could be one of the picks that I'm right on. Okay,
It's gonna be
50-50.
Tampa
So
50-50.
I mean, two of these teams are destined for greatness right now. Okay, so maybe it's Tampa Bay. I'll tell you why though. So yeah, I have a couple reasons, but we all know how the first encounter or the second one, 38-3. But since that time though, I mean, because that day, Tom Brady got sacked 3 times. After that, like averaging like 1 sack per game, giving up 1 sack per game. I think the only people that gave up that got to him more than once was the Falcons, but Tom Brady still won that game. So I think the key, and I think I mentioned it before, keeping Tom Brady on his feet. I mean, doing that, like you said, like Tommy, you said, having more guys covering, make sure that he stays and is able to throw that. Because once he gets the reads and everything, I mean, it's like he's playing Madden on rookie difficulty, right? So I had to put the Madden reference.
Like
in.
Casey Keenum.
Right. So doing that, I mean, yeah, I mean, well, you can't say anything bad about the Saints. I mean, they're number 2 seed for a reason. They've done amazing things to get there. 6 touchdowns. What was it on Thanksgiving Day? Right, 6 touchdowns. You got all these offensive weapons. Drew Brees.
Kamara, 6 TDs.
Kamara.
That what?
I mean,
yeah.
So,
What was-
so I mean,
he's on my fantasy
Thanksgiving, or
team.
was that Christmas?
I mean, either way,
It was
somebody
Christmas,
ate. Somebody
not
was eating
Thanksgiving.
turkey.
It's a holiday now.
Yeah,
Whatever day it
Thanksgiving
was.
was a while ago.
So,
That was Christmas.
that was Christmas. Okay, yeah. So that's I mean, yeah, like you said, it was a holiday. So I mean, doing that, I think that's gonna be one of the key factors, though. Keeping Tom Brady on his feet, making sure that he makes those plays. They're gonna be in New Orleans. Do they have any? Do they allow fans in New Orleans? Are they able to see that? Most stadiums haven't been allowing anybody, right? No fans.
I'm not sure.
New Orleans, I believe there are no fans. Tampa does.
No, that's right. Because Sean Payton was talking about sneaking in some fans, trying to get not sneaking in, but like driving them on buses and testing everybody for like rapid tests and holding them up in the hotel.
I will say 2 things. One, again, one of the points is I still don't know how much I trust the Saints in the playoffs, considering how the last few years went for them.
Yeah.
And 2, Rob, as far as Green Bay, I think I said this last week when we all met up, but Green Bay, usually when the team beats them in regular season, if they meet in the playoffs, Green Bay ends up losing. I don't know why. I don't know how, but the Falcons did it. 49ers did it this last year. And there's another team, I forgot who they were. There was 3 different occasions where they play and they lose in the regular season. It's one of the very few games they lose in the regular season. They see that team in the playoffs, they lose. So
Yep.
if Buccaneers meet them up, might be the case.
I mean, it's a -3 on the spread. I mean, that's a coin flip. They can have her home field advantage right there.
I'm surprised it's only 3.
-3, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I
mean,
thought
like,
it was going to be like.
I mean, that's the home field advantage.
That's it, yeah.
I thought it was going to be like.
-19 after the last.
No.
I mean,
I was thinking
could
like
they-
10 though. I thought
Right.
I thought the New Orleans they'd be the major favorites.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
it's that
All
Tom
right.
Brady effect, man.
So we're locking them in. Everybody knows our picks. So there's no changing, right? Unless.
Let's run through one more time.
One more time?
I might want to change something
All right.
last second.
So I'll start us off. So
Go through all 4 of yours. and we'll-
okay. So my first game, Green Bay versus LA. I got Green Bay. Buffalo versus Baltimore. I got Buffalo. Kansas City versus Cleveland. I got Kansas City. And Tampa Bay versus New Orleans. And I have Tampa Bay. Tom?
Yeah, I got Green Bay, Bills, Kansas City, Tampa Bay. So Tampa Bay is the only visiting team I have winning this week.
Yeah, same
Yeah,
here.
and I don't think we really talk too much about the spread because I don't want to because I'm afraid to pick the spreads right now. So yeah, just straight up, I mean, we're in the playoffs. Spread doesn't matter to anyone. We're in the playoffs. So
Mhm.
Green Bay beating LA, I got Bills beating Ravens, I got Kansas City beating Cleveland, and I got Tampa Bay beating New Orleans. Robert?
Green Bay, Baltimore, Kansas City, Tampa Bay, Heineke. That's what we got on this
All
side.
right.
I'm not changing my picks. I'm locking them in. And I'm about to have another flawless. Maybe I'll drop one game.
As long as
But
it's not
bracket
Bucks.
prediction right here, okay?
I mean,
Calling it right now.
if your momentum keeps going, yeah, 3 out of 4. So you should be able to get. But I can do 2 out of 4. So the way things are going. How about you?
Odds are in your favor.
How about you,
Well,
Tom?
I mean, we already know I did terrible last week, but 3 or 4 games we have this. Well, yeah, I have 2 different than you, but I have 3 of the same games as you do, Jose. So
And also that Indy game, that was only 3 points. That could have gone. I mean, if Rivers
Yeah.
gets a
Wait,
touchdown.
Y'all both picked the
I
Colts?
no, I picked the Bills.
Oh,
I picked the Colts, yeah. I mean, the Bills, that was different.
I picked the Bills.
What'd you pick? Wait, you got the Bills, obviously, right?
The only game he missed last week was Titans
Tennessee.
Ravens.
Yeah, now I'm betting with the Ravens. 'Cause I bet against them
Safe
for
bet,
2
yeah,
weeks.
safe
And that's
bet.
gonna come back and bite him in the ass again this
Hey, we'll
week.
see.
So.
If they
So-
do, never again. They're never winning another game.
Not
Going
bad.
0-16 next season.
So, all good stuff. Okay. So then, we got our picks in right there. Moving on to other things. What do we got going on? Anybody remember? Recent news. Anybody heard James Harden leaving the Rockets? You want to walk us through that, Rob? You wanna see what happened here?
It's the best thing that's ever happened to Houston since the Astros cheated and won a World Series.
Dun dun dun.
It's the best thing. That man has been a cancer to this Rockets organization over the last 2 seasons. I would call him, he was a baby. That's what I'm going to say. He was a baby. He wanted
Mhm.
everything in the world. He got everything in the world. Wasn't enough. So now he's
Mhm.
like, you know what? I'm going to go ring chase with Kevin Garnett and Kyrie Flat Earth Irving, and we're going to win a championship in Brooklyn. And I think
Brooklyn.
the Rockets might have a rough season, even though they have a great team. But I 100% believe that they won this trade. It's not even close. I mean, they got 4 first-round picks and 4 first-round swaps. Like, what? That's
Mhm.
incredible. They also got Victor Oladipo, who has been injured on and off pretty much the past couple years. But whenever he is healthy, he is a monster. Pair him with John Wall, DeMarcus Cousins.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a great team. They got a great coach. They might not have the best record right now, but I think that's probably a good thing for those picks that they do have. And I think you give them a couple years and they'll be right back in the same spot. I don't think I can say the same for James Harden. I think the players in the NBA, they're all really good at, I guess, vouching for each other, sticking up for each other. But I feel like he's hurt his reputation quite a bit with this whole fiasco on the Rockets. So they definitely won that. They might not win this season, win the trade this season, but they'll win that trade over the next 4 years easily. It's not even close.
Yeah. I just don't know what the Nets have to gain from this. I mean, obviously we all know Harden can deliver. I mean, I know. Like as far as being a team player, yeah, it's been a little shaky to say the least. But he does put up points. I mean, like he does it good. But all this that he's done right now in the last it's been 10 games of the season. Like it really shows who he is right there. I think it's gonna like he doesn't change him now because he's in a new team. You know, he's got like you said, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, have all those players around him right there. To me, I think it's same thing. As soon as he gets tired, it's gonna be like, oh, now Nets is your problem now. So at least we can start building right now, and hopefully, it sucks that we have to wait 2 years to like I mean, it's realistic though. I mean, you got the picks, got to build a team around what you have right now. We don't have an all-star, but we have a good, solid core right now. So
no, we have. I mean, you have DeMarcus Cousins, you have John Wall. Those two are both very. I mean,
no, yeah, I know.
DeMarcus Cousins injured, or injured a lot.
And John Wall is playing really good after coming back. I mean, like
I love John Wall.
So I mean, yeah,
that's my man.
Great. But I mean, the superstar and everything. You have a good, solid group of guys. So I think they can do it. But realistically speaking, yeah, we're looking at 2 years. Maybe hopefully, maybe something happens. You had a miracle season right now. They blow up and we go to the championship game. I don't know. That's just a little pipe dream for me right there. But I know it could happen though.
I just want to see how he handles playing with Kevin Durant because he's James Harden's a great player, but he is nowhere near the talent that Kevin Durant is. And it's going to be, I mean, they played together before whenever James Harden was, he was a good player, but he wasn't who he is now.
Right.
And I wonder how now he has this massive ego because he's been given everything he's ever wanted when on his time with the Rockets. I wonder how he's going to handle going to a team. And he might think he's the best player, but I think everybody else knows Kevin Durant is the man. Yeah. So I wonder how those interactions, like when Kevin Durant needs his shots or he wants his shots, what's going to happen? Because Steph and Clay and Draymond, they were giving him his shots when he wanted them.
Right.
I guarantee you if James Harden starts pulling that, I'm going to hold the ball forever, I'm going to do like 37 dribbles and then shoot when there's 2 seconds left on the clock, Kevin Durant's going to get tired of that shit real quick, especially if they start losing games. They shouldn't lose more than, I'm going to say, 15 games for the rest of the season with the roster they have. If Kyrie Irving gets back. If they have those three, they shouldn't lose any more than 15 games. But if they do, I'd consider it a bad deal. They shouldn't have traded for him.
He's a good equalizer, though. I mean, like, Kyrie Irving is a little shaky to say the least right now, but James Harden can fill in the hole, but he has to be a team player. And James Harden to be a team player, that's hard to say right now, after everything he's done. So hopefully, I mean, like, he's their problem now. So hopefully we'll see what happens after that. Tom, do you have anything? No? Okay, cool. We're just going to move on. We can go back to I think I skipped over it. I think I meant to go to the college championship game and how that brings in, like, for the NFL draft coming up and everything. Yeah. So I mean, we know who's the All-Stars and everything. Got Justin Fields, Devontae Smith, moving into going into the draft. See what develops from them. You didn't catch any of the game?
I didn't watch the game, but I got pretty much the gist of it. I think Justin Fields might actually drop in value. I think a lot of people. I just don't think he's gonna. He might be the third or fourth. I don't know about. He'll probably be the third quarterback pick behind Zach Wilson. But Devontae Smith, man, that kid is amazing. And then Jalen Waddle, if he's healthy, holy cow, he's really good. I'm excited for both of them to get into the NFL. It'd be dope if Miami picked Devontae at 3 and then picked Jalen.
Right. It'll be dope if Miami actually traced the pick for Deshaun Watson.
I don't know. I'm telling you.
That's going to be a great team.
It would be. I mean, that would be an instantly. My only thing is, so like we were talking about, or I guess I was saying earlier, Tua is very careful with the ball. And if he has a talent like Devontae that he can throw to, maybe he gets a little bit more. I mean, they have a great team right now. They're not the best, but they're very solid. You add Devontae to that, and you maybe add Jalen Waddle or whoever they can grab at the end of the first round. I think that might be worth holding on to instead of trading away
Mm-hmm.
your future for Deshaun Watson. Because if they trade for Deshaun Watson, they're going to make the playoffs. But are they going to win?
But it's
I don't
hard
know.
to get a quarterback like Deshaun Watson, man.
It's impossible.
Like,
You're not going to.
exactly. So why wouldn't you? You have, like you said, it's a great team, and they can probably make the playoffs with just Tua right now. But Deshaun Watson's on a different level.
Agree. But I don't think I don't think him on that roster makes enough of a difference for them to actually go the whole way, though.
I don't think they would have to put Fitzmagic in.
They might. Hey, he's on that Heineke level every single game, man. That might be Heineke behind that beard. You don't know. You don't know.
Wait, how come it's a Heineke? How come it's not Fitzmagic?
Are you what?
No.
Did you see the face mask throw?
I did.
Face mask.
Did you see who was actually in that uniform?
Heineke?
Exactly. He made that. Look, that was. I hope he gets that he can go somewhere where he can potentially start more often. Or I wouldn't blame Miami if they just had a 1-2 punch like that. Like they have Tua play safe the entire game, and then when they need somebody, they bring in the closer who can shut. I mean, it's like a perfect baseball strategy. They just bring in Fitzmagic. He shuts the game down, and they win. I don't see why that strategy hasn't been used more often in football, honestly. Because in baseball, you only use the pitchers for
if you can,
a certain amount of innings, and you just take them out, and put
two
somebody
good
else in.
players to say, let's work with each other and actually make the team win and not selfish, then it could work.
I think it would work, and I completely
I mean,
sidetracked.
they do with Hill and Brees.
Yeah, no, I mean, but I think it would work better. I mean, actually, you know what? It would work better. No, I think it works better with the Dolphins if they had Tua play safe all game, just keep them in the game, and then in the last quarter or whatever, bring in Fitzmagic.
Bearded Heineke.
Exactly. Bearded Heineke. Bring him in. Or sign Heineke. Let Heineke run that offense all game long, and then bring in Fitzmagic and let him close it out.
I think it works better.
The opposite
Like,
way.
no. I mean, it's a good strategy. I think because, like you said, like the Saints do it. When you have an established, like you have a quarterback as good as Drew Brees in there, that is okay with sitting out a couple plays here and there, just to like get that other person in there and really be part of the team. But I think with other teams, we're like, Antua is really good. There's no question about it. But I don't know. He's at the level right now where he's like, let me just give up the game. Let me give up the last fourth quarter to somebody else to finish it off. He might do it. He's totally do it, I'm sure. But I think as far as morale, it would really affect him because he needs to prove himself. He's relatively young in the NFL, so I think having that quarterback that's established, Drew Brees, Tom Brady. I don't know if Tom Brady would do that, but somebody like that can doesn't need to share the spotlight because they already have plenty of it in their career. You know what I mean? So, but who knows? Maybe that can happen. So wait, I'm just going back. You said Justin Fields. You think his performance right there made him drop? Because
he didn't play a bad game, but I think Zach Wilson will go ahead of him.
In your mock draft, you had him number 2, right?
Man, I've slept since then. Things have changed. There's been a whole bunch of games since then.
Oh no, I'm not. Of course, things change. Like NFL stands for not for long. Okay, so stuff happens. So my question was, how far down? I mean, you got the Dolphins. You're looking at Devontae Smith being aimed as third for Miami. How far down do you like? Is he out of the top 10? Got the Falcons at number 4, right? Then you got Bengals number 5.
I don't think.
Eagles at number 6.
Okay,
Lions.
Eagles for sure aren't going to take a quarterback. I think they might stick it out now that Carson Wentz has proved that that's his team. Like, not even Doug Peterson can tell him what to do. Like,
wait, no, he got Hurst now, right?
huh?
Isn't Wentz quitting?
No, I don't think so. I think now that Doug Peterson, I think he's going to stick around or get traded.
Yeah.
I think maybe Falcons, potentially.
Is Matt Ryan going to retire anytime soon?
I don't think so.
Nah, man. I mean, because Matt Schaub retires, so that he doesn't have a backup anymore.
Maybe
so
get some defensive help then.
Yeah, I mean, that's who most people project them to pick.
I mean, maybe the Broncos?
What's his name?
It's
Gregory
like the
Rousseau.
40th quarterback John Elway's going to pick.
Yeah.
No, I think if
number 9.
if he doesn't fall, if the Falcons don't pick him,
Be a shame
I
for him.
think-
Be a shame for him to drop any lower than he is. I know Trevor Lawrence is like tied at number 1, and I know, like you said, he didn't have a
I
amazing.
think he's going to go overall 199th in the 6th.
he might.
Well,
Look,
that
I
would
think
suck.
if-
That would be
if
horrible.
Falcons don't grab him, he's not in top 10. That's I'm
Golly.
sticking by that. Falcons don't grab him, he's not top 10.
You don't think anyone will switch up to get him?
There
ahead?
might,
They
I mean, that might
should.
happen.
They
But
should.
right now, as it stands,
Hey, Green Bay might.
they might. You're right.
They're hurting for a
Too soon.
quarterback.
They're like, we need somebody to keep Jordan Love company while he sits there on the bench.
Right.
We need more motivation for Aaron Rodgers.
Exactly.
We're gonna.
For me, it'd be a shame. I think you got it right. I mean, the Jets need a quarterback. I know Trevor Lawrence is going to be, frankly, between him and I know Justin Fields didn't have a great game, but frankly, I don't see why he shouldn't be number 1 too. Like, I mean, I know Trevor Lawrence is the god amongst men right now, but I mean, they're pretty even. Like, as far as being able to produce in the NFL, I think they can both make their impact. So hopefully they go 1 and 2. I think Jacksonville and Jets. We'll see how it plays out. If it drops any further than like out of the top 5, that'd be a travesty in my eyes, I think. So.
Well, what about this? If you're Jacksonville, would you trade the number 1 pick for Deshaun Watson?
For Deshaun Watson? I mean, yeah, and then my Texans can get a good quarterback out of it.
No,
But no.
I wouldn't, and here's why. Houston Texans is a horrible organization.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why Deshaun Watson's so ready to be traded away. He's just going to go to Jacksonville and will be just as unhappy because guess what? Jacksonville,
They
But I
have
mean-
cap space.
But I mean, either way,
they're a
though,
horrible organization still.
They have cap
but
space.
either way, they're like, I mean, I love Deshaun, so I want him to stick around. And I guess, yeah, I've heard me. I've had it. I have it
When you
down
love
already.
somebody, you got to let him go. Okay.
I don't
If
want
you
to let him
love
go.
Especially if he's just on
So-
the football team.
This is a hypothetical and everything, because obviously, you know, like the Jaguars ain't gonna give up that first pick.
They might
But-
think about it, bro.
But I mean, like, if I'm gonna have to give up somebody like Deshaun, I don't know. Even if it's number 1, but you're getting somebody that's gonna be there for the long haul too. Deshaun's there for the long haul right now, and he's got 2 years left on his contract, 3 years.
He
his
just
contract?
signed one.
Yeah.
Right. So it's about a 3-year contract, right? So to me, and y'all have heard me say it, he's gonna be here. Also, I mean, maybe he won't. Maybe they picked the wrong head coach.
Like, what's going to
But
happen is
they're
he's
waiting.
going to stay, just like James Harden did.
Yeah.
And then whatever team J.J. Watt goes to, they're going to lose. And they're going to lose to that team. And he's going to be like, I'm done. And then you know what's going to happen?
Golly.
He's going to get traded to some team for 37 draft picks. Or actually, you know what? Knowing the Texans, they might trade him and 37 draft picks to get.
I don't know, man. Bill O'Brien's gone.
Right.
We'll see.
Man,
We'll see.
I want Deshaun to stay here, but
Maybe time to get rid of Kyler Murray and put Watson there. Put him back together with.
Nah,
That would be pretty lethal, though.
I don't think they're going to trade Kyler Murray.
Oh, they won't. I'm just saying, but I think that'll be a pretty lethal team to play
I know that
against.
you're big on 49ers getting a new quarterback.
Oh yeah,
And if they could get Deshaun Watson,
oh yeah. Him and Kyle Shanahan's offense. Yeah,
people are saying the Bears now too. Deshaun getting traded to the Bears.
I don't know if I want Matt Nagy playing calls for him though. That's pretty much. You might as well have Bill O'Brien come back and start playing calls. Now, 49ers way better. 49ers and Miami is my 2 top picks.
I like Miami too.
so then a hypothetical here. Then just top of your heads right now, active players. We're not talking about draft people. So you have one player to start your team with, fresh. Who we picking?
For the
One-
next, how many years are we talking?
You got a player. You can lock him in for the next 5 years. Just be conservative.
One player?
One player to start your team fresh. He's gonna guarantee he's gonna play on your team for the next 5 years.
Want to go, Rob?
It's pretty easy for me.
Yeah.
I'm sticking with my man Chase Young. I think that he's gonna be the next Ray Lewis in the NFL. I think he's a captain his rookie year.
Mm-hmm.
That kid's just got energy. Yeah, he didn't touch Tom Brady one time, or you know what? But it's his rookie season. That's his first playoff
Yeah.
game ever,
Mm-hmm.
and he still played well. I mean, that whole defensive line. Thank you heavens for that one. They're gonna keep doing better, and if Montez Sweat can keep getting better alongside Chase Young, they're gonna have to double one of them. every game, and
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm gonna stick with Chase Young, defensive side of the ball.
You know, he's gonna start defense. All right.
I'm gonna go ahead and pick the dude we were just talking about, Deshaun Watson. Why not? Jose, did I just steal your pick?
What?
Would you like for me
What was
to
that?
pick somebody else?
No, man. No. But
Yeah.
by all means, go
No,
pick your guy.
I'm gonna go with Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun
He's
Watson.
I mean, yeah, he's an outstanding quarterback. Like you said, you're never gonna get a pick like that guy, and he's wasting his career away in Houston. If I'm starting a fresh team and I say, hey, I get the first pick of the draft, and any quarterback or any player that's currently on any roster for the next 5 years, yeah, I'm gonna go with Deshaun Watson.
Well.
We have very different picks. I picked a rookie. Y'all picked.
Well,
Deshaun's shown you what he can do. I mean,
know.
with
Yeah.
the Texans.
And he's
So
only
has Chase Young,
24.
though,
He's
with
24 years old.
Washington.
He's not ancient or anything like that. I mean, at 24.
He's ancient.
I know.
He's on his way out.
You have
Taylor
a 43-year-old starting this weekend,
Taylor
and Deshaun
Heineke's
Watson
taking
saying
his
shit.
spot.
I will.
You
Hey,
literally
you know
have
what? Texans, you lose Deshaun. Taylor Heineke is free. I tell you that right now. If you want to win some damn games, Taylor Heineke's he's gonna do it. For
He
you.
didn't
I know.
even win. Heineke did not win.
You're talking.
And he had Chase Young on the team too.
You're talking X's and O's, man. I'm talking Daves and Joes. You know, this is how it's gonna go. Taylor Heineke is the future of some
We need
backup
to somehow
quarterback
get
spot.
Heineke to listen to this because
Hey, look, he's gonna be happy.
I don't think his own mom
He's gonna
would
say-
praise him the way Rob is right now.
He's gonna say, "Finally, someone gets it. Finally, someone sees." And you know what, Taylor, I'm happy I see you, and I hope that one day you can see me too, singing your praises as the star quarterback on the Houston Texans.
Fair enough. Okay, so you know what?
Can I change my? I'm starting Taylor.
Taylor
I'm going Taylor
my God.
Heineke.
Whoa,
Is the player I'm starting my franchise with.
man. Okay. Taylor, you know what? Second best player right now for me. Like, 'cause I'm gonna be fair because I mean, obviously we can't both start Deshaun Watson on our team.
Can't all start Taylor Heineke.
No,
either.
we
We're not
can't.
gonna fight over that one.
You know what? I'll let you have
None
that
of
guy.
us are gonna fight over
Let
that.
you
one.
guys-
I will. I'll fight for you, Taylor.
Serves me right for going last, but that's a great pick. Deshaun Watson would have been my number one pick. I would probably go with Patrick Mahomes, and if I'm starting a team fresh, got a guy like him, like Mahomie. I'm not allowed to say that. That's right. He doesn't like that nickname. Nobody saw that commercial. Okay, got it. So
That's just you.
that's just
Just
me.
you.
It is a Allstate commercial, but anyways, yeah, Mahomes is probably my quarterback. Mobile, can throw the ball. Like, he's got an arm. I think got a lot of upshot. How old is he? 20. He's also 24, 25, right? He came out the same.
He's around the same age as Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think he's
so-
like 2 years younger, maybe.
Lock him in for 5 years. He's a great start to the team, so really good. All right, cool. So I want to take a quick short break and do a wrap up right after. You want to do?
Let's
Sound
go
good?
for it.
All righty. We'll be right back.
Today, we're doing a lot more at home, which means we're doing a lot less driving. With pay-per-mile car insurance from Allstate, you only pay for the miles you drive. Drive less, save 50% with Allstate. You've never been in better hands. Visit allstate.com or call an agent for a quote today.
All right, guys. We're back. Going to wrap things up. We had a lively conversation here today. So I just want to wrap up by saying, hey, you can find us many different places. Check us out on Facebook. That's Cool Sports Guy. Twitter, @Cool Sports Guy. And you got Instagram, The Cool Sports Guy. And you can also find us at Reddit, u/Cool Sports Guy _. And as always, we'll be back here. We're going to have shows every Wednesday, so you'll be able to catch on YouTube live or on our site. So coolsportsguy.com. Make sure you check us out, and see you next time, guys.